My name is Wes Rodriguez.
And I'm Marin Flores.
And you guys are listening to the super fantastic, fantabulous, awesome podcast, Sink or Swim. How you doing, Marin?
I'm doing good, man. I'm actually out of the house this week.
That's right. We are actually in Sink or Swim Studios.
Yes. So that's a cool thing, you know? Feels good to get a breath of fresh air and not have to wear that mask so much, you know? So that's a good thing.
And I, for one, feel more comfortable recording in the Sink or Swim Studios.
I know you do. You were spastic over there, dude. You're literally spastic. I think one of my favorite lines is when you go, fucking ice cream truck. We're like in the middle of a recording, and you just hear the ice cream truck from down the street, and as we're driving up, it's getting closer and closer and closer. Fucking ice cream truck.
It's neurotic.
That was funny.
And you know what? I came to a conclusion this week, Marin, and I've officially given up all hope.
On?
Life in general.
Oh, life in general.
Yeah.
How can you say that?
Well, I've lost all expectations of, like, you know how when you grow up, you have like this dream and this fantasy of how things are going to turn out?
Kind of like
and
your
as you
belief
age, it gets carved away and whittled away till there's like nothing left of the representation it had in your mind. You're just left with, you know, the turd that you never thought would be your life.
Kind of like my belief in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy.
Like that. Very much so.
That's right.
And
what led you to this?
Well, you know, hopes being crushed and smashed, the smithereens, you know, avenues that you thought were taking you to somewhere and you end up in the ghetto, you know, and someone's taking your bicycle and your shoes are now thrown up on like a telephone wire. And you're wondering, how did I get here and how am I going to get out of this situation?
Are you still upset that they denied you on that trip to Mars?
That is correct, sir.
Wes wanted to expand his mind, so he submitted a report and he requested that he go to Mars.
And they left.
And they
went
left
to Mars. I'm still here doing a podcast.
He was on the runway. What about me?
So I've settled on the conclusion that this is probably as good as it gets, and I probably just might as well enjoy it. So I haven't lost all hope. I've just become warm and cozied up, and I'm nestled in the meager existence I've scraped for myself. And I've accepted I'm a man-child. You know, I like fucking comic books.
Of course.
And riding my bicycle to work.
Well, they say that when you decide to get sober, and you do get sober, your mentality actually picks up from when you started your using or drinking. So if you're 13 or 14 or 15, whatever, when you started, then when you actually come out of that haze,
there was no picking up.
Your mind.
I'm staved right there the whole fucking time.
But that's where your mind picks up at. And that's why a lot of people, it takes them a while. They say give it 5 years before you expect anything, you know, in your life, because you have to literally retrain your mind to take on responsibilities of family, and there's people who have kids, you know, and their kids are entering college and stuff, and they still have that mindset of, you know what I mean?
Well, and I'm sure they have aspirations, ambitions.
Oh yeah, of course.
Of, you know, grandiosity.
Yeah.
I myself have not.
And I don't.
I'm okay with where I'm at. Fuck it.
Right.
You know.
Well, that's like
I mean, I have goals and I have ambitions, but they're in there. I've learned how to. The word is compartmentalize.
What?
And where you can take your rational mind and actually apply it to your life and put everything in its appropriate box. Kind of organize your thoughts and emotions. Compartmentalize.
Like I'm supposed to know that, right?
No. As a matter of fact, I didn't expect you to at all. Thus, the explanation.
Okay, fair enough.
So, what the conclusion I've come to is just get used to this, Wes. You know, wrap yourself up in that warm blanket that is your life, and just fucking cozy up.
Right.
You know, it's cold out there, and just try to keep yourself secure.
Well, in your defense, I think you're, from the time I've met you up until now, I've seen growth, and I've seen. I don't know if you see it or not, but I've seen you get better at life. You know.
I'm hoping my defense mechanisms have become stronger. My security towards, you know, the risk that I would put myself to has probably changed.
Well, I think this new venture that you're going on, that we're going to talk about in a minute. I think this is going to open up your mind too and get you out more, and not be so secluded, because you're literally, it's like one of the few times that I've seen you literally excited about something.
But I always do that, man. I get into comic books.
No. But dude, this was something that you were
games.
Like. You were like when you. I don't want to ruin it, but this was something, dude. I could just see it in your eyes. That gleam, like.
I feel like a little kid on Christmas
Day. It was just like,
so, well, let's just get into it. I've settled on the fact that, you can get mental help. You can work on psychological issues and change things, chemically in your brain. That, can keep emotions and behaviors kind of under control.
Keep you from killing people.
Right. or prison bars might be implemented. But and things like mental therapy, psychiatrists, they can kind of help you reel in the thoughts that can take you to places where you don't need to be and that are going to be no help or benefit to your life. And so they kind of retrain you. There's a lot of programs, for instance, a program where we met in, that can help you keep you grounded.
Absolutely.
What they can't provide is how to be attracted to the opposite sex. There's no pill for that. There's no training. There's no therapy.
Well, there is. It's just not legal. Can you say ecstasy?
There's shortcuts. No, but that's not gonna. You can take ecstasy, but that's not gonna mean you're gonna get laid. You can drug someone else,
but you're gonna feel good not being laid.
Well, right. When the refractory period kicks in, though,
I don't need you. I can touch myself.
After you shot your wad, though, and that fucking regret and remorse and disgust with yourself kicks in, and then you're screwed all over again. My point is this: there's no treatment or clinic that can teach you how to be attracted to the opposite sex.
No.
It's taken me a long time to realize, fuck it. Who cares? There's nothing that you can do that's going to make you land a relationship. Furthermore, when you stop trying is when it happens.
Yeah.
And that's what I see all over the place.
It happens when you least expect it.
So I'm trying to preoccupy my mind and keep things going on in my life that keep me going forward and producing and being creative.
Right.
Like the podcast, for instance.
Right, absolutely.
And I've dived back into the little treasure chest that is my art when it comes to the podcast too. I'm able to use my creative mind again.
Yeah.
And it's been asleep for a long time.
You're pulling from that well. You're pulling from that well.
And that's coming back to life.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to feel alive, and I'm feeling a little more adventuresome.
Well, and it's more than a spark too. It's more than a spark that you're feeling when it happens. You feel that excitement. That little tingle in your chest, that little anxiety,
And we'll get into that too.
But I felt that
creative
inspiration. I felt the creative juices flowing.
Well, let's get into that.
Yeah.
What did we do that was so creative?
We actually created an intro for the news.
A jingle.
A jingle
in the business.
A jingle. A catchy jingle.
So you guys are going to hear a jingle before Marin does his news segment every week.
Yeah.
I hope you like it. It was fun. Marin got to do his, put his lyrical process into play and
with a lot of tugging and pulling from Wes. I write something down. He goes, no, don't do that. Try this. No, don't do that. Try this. No, don't do that. Try this. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Let me write something down with more than 2 fucking sentences, and then...
Well, you're like a locomotive that can choose from like 30 different random tracks in front of it.
Right.
And I'm trying to keep you on one track.
Right. Don't derail, Mr. Flores.
You are the king of getting derailed.
You know what? And I give you credit for that because there's not a lot of people that can do that with me,
Like herding cats?
Like literally reel me in and be like, okay, Marin, look, bring it back. You're like going off the track.
Right.
We're going to Santa Monica. You're on your way to fucking Seattle. And
that's kind of what the intro was. It's like, okay, you're obviously going to fucking derail the train. That's your process.
Right.
That is you being creative.
And you know what?
And so what we did is we took the lyrics and expressed that in the lyrics.
Right.
Talk about being derailed, Marin.
Right.
And then right around that concept.
Right, yeah. Shout out to Christian Avocado for...
Avocado,
Aguayo. Agua. You can actually catch him on Facebook.
Christopher Guano?
Christopher Guano.
Isn't that bad shit?
That is bad shit.
I learned that from Ace Ventura.
But he actually did riff, and this guy is so good. He can actually run and play. He's just good at it, man. He's really good at playing the guitar.
Yeah.
But he's just really good at it.
Right. He is he's the artist you heard on show 1.
Yeah, the very first show. Yeah. It's a work in progress, but
trying to raise the production value.
But the end result, man, it was, you know what? It was so good, and it's got that little.
It's amateur,
You're gonna don't be scared if you're singing it tomorrow at work. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You're gonna be like dun 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 dun. Oh man. It's gonna be like what do they call it? A music bomb, where like the next day you can't help but get that song out of your head. You know what I mean? You're like, damn it. And I do that with, I'll be like, the right stuff, you got the right stuff, and I don't know where I'll heard it, and I'll be like, what the fuck am I singing New Kids on the Block for?
Wow.
It's just, you know what I mean?
That one doesn't happen to me. Yeah. I feel very fortunate.
And you heard the CD I was playing last night when you were.
For me, it's like Lady Gaga and shit like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But it's a really catchy tune, and like I said, man, we put a lot of work into it. It took a little time. We did a couple 4 or 5 redrafts.
It took like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Dude.
Anyway, let's talk about your new venture.
My new venture. One of my friends at work is changing residences. He's staying in the same local area, but he's moving houses, and he's trying to build capital for a down payment on his new place. And one of the things he was getting rid of is a motor scooter. And I decided on purchasing that bad boy. So I purchased a motor scooter.
A very nifty motor scooter.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got a retro look to it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to embellish or be delusional about it. It's a fucking scooter.
You know what? I'll embellish it. This thing is fucking cool, man. It really is. You'll have to excuse me. I slip here and there, but I'm actually trying to not use the cuss word as much. It seems my cohort in crime here has suggested to me that the word has lost all meaning because I use it like every other word. So, if you hear a slip here and there, I apologize for that. I'm not saying how long this is going to last. I don't know how long this is going to last. I'm going to do my best to keep integrity to the show.
That's awesome.
You know what? This little scooter, and maybe you'll even take a picture of it and put it up on Facebook and let people check it out. The handlebars, they have a little bobber feel to it, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's just really super cool.
It's not a straight bar. It's got kind of a curved bar. It's like closer to your body.
Yeah.
It's got kind of like a classic like Vespa look to it. It's some weird off-brand. Name brand really doesn't mean much.
Like how long did it take you before you felt comfortable riding it?
Like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
3 blocks?
Like 3 blocks the first ride home. And I've never ridden a motorcycle.
Right.
Or was trained to ride like that. Or like the most experience I've had was a quad runner back when I was a kid and a bicycle. So getting on this thing, I was nervous at first.
Yeah.
It was my friend lives in a trailer community. It's like under 10 miles an hour, and there's like stop signs all over the place,
and speed bumps.
Like the hardest thing to do is a slow rolling turn, sharp turn.
Right.
And
I know this because I've owned a scooter before.
Once you put the gas on this thing, it rights itself. Oh, yeah. It's so easy to ride, man. And there's something so exciting and juvenile about being on it. You feel like a kid just tooling around the lane you're in. You can bounce like 3 feet from one direction to the next and still stay in the same lane you're in. And so you're swerving back and forth, listening to your music. It's fucking fun. And let me tell you, when you have 50 Cent like gangster rap like fucking banging in your ears while you're on a fucking little scooter, the ridiculousness of it just wraps your whole your whole head, and you can't help but let your heart soar and your fucking face smile. And
sure, absolutely.
I mean, I've got a chrome German soldier's helmet on my head.
Bought it on eBay the very day he bought the scooter.
And I'm on a fucking scooter, and you can't look any more ridiculous riding a scooter, period.
Oh,
so I might as well play it up as much as I can and just enjoy it for what it is. So yeah, that's what I've gotten into this week, and I've been riding it around back and forth from work. Yeah. I'm trying to use it as a reward system. Like, I'm going to save it towards the end of the week before I ride it, and then ride my bicycle back and forth from work.
Yeah.
That way I keep losing weight and